All right, let's get right into it. Today we're looking at a pretty remarkable story pulled directly from a leader's own account. It's all about how a single personal conviction can blossom into a full-blown global movement. And it's a journey that's packed with personal revelations, huge struggles, and some pretty incredible growth.
So the whole thing kicks off with this really bold claim. The speaker argues that belief isn't just a thought, something in your head. No, they're saying that when a belief gets strong enough, it becomes a real, tangible force, something that can actually physically change the world.
So, where did all this start? Well, we have to go back to 1981. This is where the speaker points to a profound, life-altering moment that basically changed everything for him. He says that these weren't just fleeting thoughts or ideas. He describes them as a steady stream of heavenly messages. And this wasn't a one-time thing. It was a process that went on for more than 5 years, forcing him to totally reevaluate his entire life. All of this led to a pretty stark realization. He felt like his life balance sheet was deep in the red. He'd spent decades just taking from his parents, from society, from the world, without really giving anything meaningful in return. And that feeling is what pushed him to leave a very stable corporate career and set off on a completely new path.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that this huge life decision wasn't met with applause. Not at all. In fact, pretty much everyone was against it, and he describes the reactions in really vivid detail. Can you imagine? He remembers his coworkers at his big trading company literally begging him to tell them it was all a joke. They just couldn't process it. The guy they ate lunch with and saw every day was suddenly claiming he could hear the voices of major figures from history and religion.
And it wasn't just his colleagues. His own family was deeply concerned. They were worried he was throwing away this incredible future, maybe getting lost in some ideas about the afterlife that his late father was interested in. They thought he was losing his grip on reality.
So, you see the choice he was up against. It was a massive fork in the road. On one side, you've got headhunters calling, offering him jobs with double, even triple his salary, a secure, respectable, successful life. And on the other side, this deeply personal, unproven spiritual calling with absolutely nothing to its name. No money, no building, no followers.
Okay, so how does this solo belief, something everyone told him was crazy, actually turn into a real organization? Let's look at how it all started. As you can see from the timeline, this was not an overnight success story. It actually took 5 full years from when he first started receiving those messages in 1981 to when the very first public meeting was held. But from that point on, according to him, the growth was just explosive. He tells this fantastic story to give you a feel for the energy of that first gathering. It was held in a tiny hall meant for less than 90 people, but it was so jam-packed with people who had come from all over the country that he, the main speaker, couldn't even get in the front door. He literally had to climb along an outside veranda just to get onto the stage.
And get this, from that one chaotic, overflowing room, the organization now claims it has grown to over 10,000 branches and missions all around the world. I mean, that is just a staggering jump from where it all began. But as the organization grew, its mission started to expand way beyond just spiritual teachings. The focus began shifting towards influencing society itself through politics, education, and culture.
According to the source, this was a totally deliberate strategy. The idea was to approach society from all these different angles. He does admit, though, that this shift confused a lot of his early followers, who were really only there for the spiritual message.
Now, this is where the founder makes some really significant claims about the group's global influence. He alleges that his international headquarters was actually in touch with Donald Trump's inner circle, way before he was even elected president. And he doesn't stop there. He goes on to claim that this influence reaches all the way to the Kremlin. The speaker alleges that President Putin's government isn't just aware of his organization, but is actively studying its spiritual readings. It suggests a kind of quiet, behind-the-scenes impact on world affairs. So, what's the endgame here? What's the ultimate goal of all this growth and influence? Well, the speaker lays out a very clear, very ambitious vision for the future of the entire world. He breaks it down into a 3-part global mission. First, to unify the world's major religions by showing they all come from the same source. Second, to use that unified spiritual understanding to solve major global conflicts. And third, to tackle what he sees as the root problem of modern society, materialism. And here, he brings it all back to that central theme with this really powerful image. He says that the collective power of belief can act like a laser beam, cutting a tunnel straight through what he calls the mountain of agnosticism,
all the modern skepticism and doubt that he thinks is holding humanity back.
And that brings us right back to the central question of this whole story. It's more than just the tale of one organization. It's a fascinating look at how a personal conviction can actually start to manifest in the real world. It really makes you wonder, at what point does a belief stop being just an idea in someone's head and become a force that can truly start to shape our reality? That's a powerful thought to leave you with.